Are the team in the Premier League that most people couldn't care less about.
Hey guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to GW24 predictions. And we have a very special guest, Alan March, the stadium announcer from the Asian Cup, from the World Cup. This is your man.
Not about your man, but yeah, I'm a man of some sort of variety. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm not happy this morning. Camden Council, you're an absolute disgrace, but the show must go on. Thogdad got 4 points, which is miserable. Thogden an okay 6 points, but you lot, the guests, got an incredible 12 points. Massive round of applause.
How many likes are we going to hit on this video? Because we've got Big Al.
10.
10,000 likes.
No, just 10.
That's the lowest ever. The first match is Manchester City against Everton. Sean Dyche's side have been hit with a point deduction this year, but they're fighting recently, not been getting enough wins. Will it come here? Probably impossible.
I sympathise with Everton. As a Forest fan, we're probably going to get smacked on the bottom as well, so that's absolutely, absolutely fine. A second points deduction for them will be horrific.
Apparently they had the one lawyer who just got smashed in court. It seems like they're going to be hit. I really feel for Everton fans.
Well, are they not just going to change the rules at the end of the season anyway?
It's madness. The Premier League are changing rules. They're bringing out blue cards.
That's more announcing for me. I'm happy with that. That's another invoice.
Manchester City, Haaland's back, De Bruyne. It looks like they've got a pretty fit and ready team. I'm going to say a 3-0 win.
Do you know what? I don't think you're far off the money. I think 2 or 3. I'll go with you on 3-0 there.
Phil Foden was unplayable last week against Brentford. A brilliant hat-trick. Everton, they are plucky. Branthwaite got that late goal against Tottenham. They've drawn 3 in a row, but they're in the relegation zone. This is going to be a City win, 3-1.
Over to West London now, Craven Cottage to be precise. It's Fulham against Bournemouth. Now, both these sides need to win. See, the Cherries won a great run, and then they just, I don't know, 2024 hasn't been their year so far.
I can't stand Bournemouth. So as a Forest fan, again, we were meant to go away from home and it was a little bit windy and they called the game off.
No
just
way.
Just because it benefited their injury list. I'm probably making a little bit of that up. I also have a little soft spot for Fulham. On their day, they've got some really good players. Anthony Robinson, for one, absolutely outstanding footballer. Going forward, they can be really damaging, and I don't think Bournemouth will cope with them.
Anthony Robinson, you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
He played for Bolton.
He did.
I love that.
And then he went on to be a footballer.
Oh, for God's sake. You think they're going to win?
I think they've got this 2-1.
I'm going to go with the 1-1 draw. I'm going to sit on the fence here.
Fulham dropped points to Burnley last weekend, having gone 2-0 ahead, and Bournemouth dropped points against Nottingham Forest and even had Philip Billing sent off. So both teams have drawn 2 in a row. I think it's going to be 3 in a row, a 1-1 draw.
Liverpool against Burnley. Now, you've got to be respectful when we talk about Burnley because the goalkeeper is my brother, James Trafford, okay?
Does he have a bad back?
Are you having a go at my posture? What have I done?
No, I'm just thinking about how many times he picks the ball out the back of the net.
Oh, goodness me. What, you really think Liverpool are going to batter Burnley?
I mean, I'd take the day off. Liverpool way too strong at the moment.
But they are just on fire. But they did lose 3-1 to Arsenal, so the title race is still on. What I personally think is Liverpool at home are too good.
Yep.
If they're playing anybody, they've got a chance.
Absolutely.
And when it's Burnley, it's 3 points for me. I'm sorry, Traff. I reckon you'll make a few good saves, but come 90 minutes, I think Burnley will score because they usually do away from home. They'll get 1 goal, but Liverpool will get 3.
4-0.
4-0.
Now, Liverpool were outplayed last week by Arsenal. It's not often you say that. Burnley, meanwhile, it was looking bleak against Fulham, and then David Fofana came along. Is there a wagging of the dog's tail here? This is going to be a home win. Liverpool 3-0.
Back to London now for Luton against Sheffield United, a relegation classic. I have a feeling Luton, they've been the 4-goal team recently. 4 goals away from Newcastle, nearly won that game into the last minute. 4 goals at home against Brighton. For some reason, I think Sheffield United will come into this match fighting. Chris Wilder is going to pull it out the bag and win 2-1.
In my heart, I'd love a draw, and I think I'm going to go 1-1 because we need Luton to stop picking up points. Because I think going into the season, everybody was like, "Yeah, Luton's fine, don't worry about that."
Yeah,
but at the moment, it's Sheffield United who are kind of that team. Burnley the next one, and we thought Luton would be dead easy. I also love that everybody thinks Luton's London. It's just not, but it's fine.
Luton, 11 points in 6 games. That is European form, and we'll never forget that 4-4 draw at St James's Park. Sheffield United smashed by Aston Villa 5-0 within 47 minutes. It's looking grim. 2-0 to Luton.
Over to North London, it's Tottenham against Brighton now. I can see goals in this game. I think it will be mad. Last match, Spurs, they bottled it. That last-minute goal conceding to Everton. Branthwaite got the goal. It was really unfortunate for them because they've been doing well recently. Beat Brentford, The whole Malpai-Madison incident happened. I think being back at home, they should be able to take 3 points.
It's funny, isn't it? Both of these sides, they're good for a shock result, but it tends to be a shock result against them that you're not expecting. I think this has got a draw. I think this is one of the few draws this week, but I think you're right. I think it's a high-scoring draw, 2-2.
I nearly went for it. I think Spurs will edge it. 3-2.
Spurs have scored in their last 35 consecutive Premier League games, and last week it was Richarlison with another brace. Brighton, meanwhile, smashed Crystal Palace in that M23 derby. They will have loved that. This is going to be 2-1 to Spurs.
Wolves against Brentford now. Another player back from Asian Cup, Hwang Ki-chan. And that's important because the last time they played Brentford, it was a 4-1 win. Hwang Ki-chan with 2 goals. He'll be looking forward to this game. And we know how good Gary O'Neill is with his squad. His first 11. It's on fire right now. Matis Cunha in the last game.
I love Wolves as a team. I think they play some really good attacking football.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced by them on the road, but here at home, I think they'll handle Brentford quite nicely and actually run out 3-1 winners.
I just feel like Brentford right now, every game is a story. They've played Spurs and City in the last 2 matches. They've come fighting. I think they'll get a draw.
Stop the players going out and playing darts on a Friday and you might be all right on a Saturday.
Yep, you're right. And slapping a bet on as well. It's probably ideal. I'm going to go down the middle here. Wolves 2, Brentford 2. But if the Bees come away with something, remember, I had a feeling.
Cunha against Ivan Toney, and Cunha is turning into one of the best strikers in the league. He was superb against Chelsea last week. And talking of superb, did you see Flecken in the first half against City last week? Broke the record for the number of saves and even got an assist. I'm going with a home win here. Wolves to win 2-1.
Now it's time for City ground. We've got a Forest fan here in Alan. I want you to run away with it.
See, we were not expected to beat them at St James's Park, and they were not expecting Chris Wood to play like Ronaldo, so that's fine. We've got some injuries. We've still got players at AFCON that we probably would have in the first 11. It's a tough ask this time around. I think we'd go happily away from the City ground with a draw.
I just have a feeling that Nuno Santo has the history and the mindset to go and beat Newcastle. The last Saturday game, it's live on telly. Forest going to win. They're going to win. They're going to find a way. 2-1.
I would love a double against Newcastle under the lights at the City ground. I'd be absolutely amazed with that. I am going to go 1-1.
Yeah, okay.
But it's better than a defeat.
Forest got a decent point last week against Bournemouth. Callum Hudson-Odoi with that equaliser. Newcastle, meanwhile, 4-2 down to Luton at home. Came back to 4-4, but that was not a good result. But I think Newcastle might find something here and win 2-1.
Time for West Ham against Arsenal. The last time they played was in the EFL Cup, and somehow the Hammers beat them 3-1.
They do love upsetting teams, West Ham, and then again, they're another one of these sides where they have an amazing win, and then they're absolutely garbage the following week.
Their last win was at Christmas against the Gunners. They lose against all these average teams and then find a way. That's the most David Moyes result ever, and that's exactly what I'm going to predict. You know it will happen at the Olympic Stadium. It just always does.
Arsenal 3-1.
I think West Ham are going to win 2-1, and I think the winner is going to come from Jared Bowen.
Good luck with that.
Now, last week weren't so good. They lost to Man United 3-0 despite having more shots, and they've now gone 4 games without a win. Arsenal, meanwhile, were imperious against Liverpool. Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and Trossard getting the goals, but for some reason, I don't think they're going to win this. I reckon it might be a 1-1 draw.
Aston Villa against Manchester United. Unai Emery, people were calling him as genius, and now the recent results, the loss to Chelsea in the Cup.
You do have to separate League and Cup.
You do,
and I think what Emery's done for the league side has been outstanding. Look, United are poor at times. They're really poor. Even we beat them at home. And that's saying something. They've been turned over by sides. They've looked awful even sometimes when they've won. They're clearly disjointed behind the scenes. I actually think Villa will take this. I think there's a 2-0 win.
I have a feeling that Manchester United are turning it around. They beat Wolves 3-4. Mad result. Don't know how that ends up like that, but Kobe Manu getting the winner. And then recently with West Ham.
What a player he looks like, by the way.
Yeah, Manu.
Absolutely.
Get him in the Euro squad. Unai Emery, I can't predict him right now. I can't back him to win. I'm going Aston Villa 1, Manchester United 3.
Aston Villa were superb last weekend, 5-0 and 5 different goal scorers, and we all know that their home form is amongst the best in the league. But Man United, Højlund, Garnacho in particular, are finding form at an important stage of the season. But I go back to that Villa Park record, and I reckon this is going to be a narrow home win, 2-1.
And the final matchup, Crystal Palace against Chelsea. Another game we might disagree with each other because both of these teams could win. Roy Hodgson needs something for his job to stay. but then Pochettino in the Premier League, awful, but just won in the Cup. What are we going with here?
Are Crystal Palace the team in the Premier League that most people couldn't care less about? They are in as much trouble as we're in. I think they've got some really talented players there, but they find themselves in a very, very bad position in that league table. Equally, Chelsea, as you say earlier on, that victory in midweek, that might just be the catalyst for them to go, do you know what, we can play against good sides, we can play good football. I think the signing of Palmer was a genius thing to do.
Yeah.
They can hang on to Gallagher in the summer, they can start to build around some young talent, which is, again, sort of the opposite of what they've been doing the last 4 or 5 transfer windows.
Yeah.
So this is a draw, but I'd lean more towards Chelsea winning it if I had to, but I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go a 2-2 draw as well. So for once, we agree at the end.
That's nice.
Now, Crystal Palace were taken apart by Brighton last weekend. They are not safe from relegation yet. So I'm going to go with the squad with the most value. Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 2.
Alan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the channel.
Thank you very much indeed.
You are a hero. You're smashing it with the stadium announcements. Keep doing your thing. Hope Thogdad's good back in London as well. I want you to decide who's winning the Asian Cup final.
Qatar.
Who's
Easy.
winning the AFCON final?
Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Ivory Coast and Jordan. Thank you for watching. See you all in a bit. Bye-bye.